What's up, y'all? Happy Father's Day. I just got through watching Electro's Father's Day vlog video, and he had mentioned he gave a shout out to all the other fathers out there and said something like, you got brothers or sisters, you babysit. It's not the same thing as being a parent and the fear associated. So I figured I'd talk about my worst day as a parent. The worst thing I've ever done. Because parents make mistakes, things go wrong. My son was young when this happened. I'm wanting to say 5. It feels like he might have been in kindergarten, but the age I can't really remember. I just know he was tiny. We were at a local carnival. You know, one of those small ones, the seasonal type. You got the little rides and the fun house and all kind of vendors with fried Oreos and fried bananas. It's Texas, we fry everything. And he wants to go into the fun house. This is one of those fun houses that you go in, and it didn't have mirrors, it had glass panels, but the glass panels were arranged in a way that was a maze. And then you go through the maze, and you go out the back, and you go on these little platforms where the footpads move to make it difficult for you to go in, and then there's steps that move to make it hard for you to walk up, and then you go back down, and then you end up in one of those rolling barrel things. It was open on both ends. So I tell him to go in, and I watch him the whole time. I watch him go through the glass, and then he goes through the back, and then I can't see him anymore. Before he went in, I told him I'm going to be standing right by the exit of the barrel thing. And so I stand there, and I wait for him to come out. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and I keep waiting. Then the fear hits, because he's not coming out. So I go and I ask the attendant to stop the ride and go in there and see if he can find him. And he goes in, he says he's not in there. So I go in and see if I can find him again. He's not in there. Completely disappeared. Now it's hard for me to describe the fear I felt that day. I've never been afraid. I've been scared. You know, going on hunting trips with my dad, step on a rattlesnake, scared. Nearly get in a car wreck, somebody spins out in front of you, scared. But this was a level of fear that I can't express, I can't explain. Panic. Pure panic. So I run all around this thing, try and find him. I search a crowd, and he's nowhere. Gone. See, and talking about this is making me a little weepy-eyed just because I remember the feeling. I mean, the level of fear I felt losing that boy, I'll never feel again. Unless something like that happens. An hour passes by, and the whole time I'm searching for him, I'm screaming in the crowd, calling his name, asking people for help, till finally I go over to the police little booth they got. And who do I see sitting there next to a cop? My little boy. Come to find out, he went out the back of that fun house to where I didn't even see him. He didn't come out the front where I was standing. He went out the back, and I completely missed him. And he started searching for me, panicking the same way I was searching for him panically. And this boy was wise enough, probably because I told him many, many times, if you ever have an issue, find a cop. And that's what he did. He found a cop. Definitely the worst day I've ever had as a father. The worst moment. The worst hour. I felt like the worst father who ever lived. Probably spent the rest of that boy's life trying to make up for it. Spoiling them and shit. But you know, we try. Parents, we try really hard. We make mistakes. Things slip through the cracks. My mistake that day was waiting for him off to the side of that little barrel roll thing that he had to walk through, and not staring straight in there to see him come out. Suffice it to say, after that day, I did not take my eyes off him for a second. Whenever we went to carnivals and Comic-Cons and things like that, held his hand, went through the shit with him until he was old enough to that I could trust that he'd go through there without getting lost. His mother took off when he was only about 6 months old, so it's really been just me and him his whole life. We've got a really close bond, but that day I most definitely felt like the worst father to have ever existed, that ever will exist. Like a true piece of shit. Like I didn't deserve a kid. A little bit of real talk for you. So to the other fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Cherish your children, because you never know what might happen. That's about it. I'll see you in the next one. Electro, thanks for the reminder. Later.